my favorite part of this week is that it's not my fault we're late.
I don't think it's my fault that we're late either. I was just really sleepy.
It's the universe's fault for making us sleepy.
Every single time I tried to watch a documentary or listen to a podcast about this subject, I would fall asleep. And that's not to say it's boring. I was just so sleepy.
All right, everybody, get ready for a snooze
Right?
fest.
So I hope you guys don't fall asleep while you're listening to this because, oh my God, I was so sleepy.
I've been waiting like almost a week to tell you something.
Okay.
I think there was a ghost in my classroom the other day.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I can't remember if I started hearing the noise during my prep period or if it was after the night school kids left. But for sure, like I was alone in my room. And I heard this noise like if you were to throw something small and it hit like the board or something, like a
Yeah.
chalkboard or something. And when I first heard it, I kind of looked around because I was like, is somebody in here? But I didn't see anybody. And then I just kind of was like, well, whatever, something fell, whatever. And then for sure during night school, I heard it. And I was like, what in the world is that? Because it wasn't like a regular tapping.
Mm-hmm.
It was just every once in a while I would hear what sounded like something being thrown and like hitting the board, but like something small.
Yeah.
And so finally, I got up and kind of walked over in the area of the room where I heard the sound from, just to see if I could see, like, if, did something fall? Is there something, And I didn't see anything. And I thought, maybe it's a mouse, but there's no food over in that part of the room. And so I was like, I don't know what a mouse would be doing over there. That's a weird place for the mouse to be. Plus, there's not anywhere for it to hide or anything. And so I went and sat back down, and a little while later, I heard it again, and it was almost time to leave. So I got up and I went to the bathroom, and then I came back, and I was just like, I just said out loud, no, thank you.
You have holy water on your desk. You could have done
I didn't even think about my holy water on my
a little
desk.
splishy splashy.
I just was like, no, thank you. Please knock it off. And then whenever I left, I was like, okay, I'm going home. You may not come with me.
Yeah.
And then it was so funny because Amy has told me several times in the past that if she ever died and came back as a ghost, she would want to haunt a classroom.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had the thought, I need to call Amy and make sure that she's alive.
Yeah.
And so then I just sent a text message to the group chat with Amy and Kayla, and I was like, I think there's a ghost in my classroom. Amy's response to me was, it's not me. I was like, okay, well, I was concerned, so okay, great. But anyway, I don't know what it was. It was weird.
Who knows, man?
It was just like a little ghosty. I wasn't like afraid. It just like I don't know what the sound was.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't the air conditioner or the heater.
Mm-hmm.
It was, I don't know what it was.
Also, I hope you're all enjoying the soundtrack in the background.
Some mood music.
Why is he playing during our podcast?
Well, I've been nagging him for like 2 hours to play. And so
And he chose this time while we're recording?
he sure did. But to be fair, the last time that he practiced while we were recording, you couldn't hear it in the background.
Okay.
So if you hear some piano music, just enjoy. And if you don't, then you don't have any idea what we're talking about.
Yeah.
All right.
Anything else?
No.
My birthday is on Friday.
Oh, that's correct.
That's
It
a thing.
Sure is. Yeah.
And I should be getting my income tax refund tomorrow.
Ooh, maybe.
According to that website, I was supposed to get it by tomorrow. So,
Yeah.
like, if I don't have it by the 28th, I'm supposed to contact my bank. But
Yeah, did it say it was already sent, but it should be in your bank by the 24th or something? Let me see. It should be sent to your bank by February 23rd. If your refund is not credited, call them by February 28th. Okay, yes. So maybe you'll get it.
Yeah.
That's so fancy for you. And then you could buy me a present. Do you got a story for us?
I do have a story for us. The story is a good story. I just don't feel great about my version of the story.
Oh, okay. You're probably just being anxious because I'm sure it's fine.
possibly. I just kind of feel like it's all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate it when I feel like it's all over the place.
Yeah.
And as usual, it's not very long.
That's okay.
So,
Short and sweet.
something like that. Before I tell the story, however, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of a question to the general population, not like to you in particular, but why do you think the government hides information about UFOs and aliens from us? Like,
Hmm.
what do you think the point is? Like, let's say for a minute that aliens 100% exist.
Mm-hmm.
That people have seen UFOs and they've had encounters with aliens and they've been abducted, etc. But instead of supporting these stories, they are like adamant that they don't exist and that there must be something wrong with the witnesses.
I don't know. Maybe it's like they don't want people to like mass panic about it.
But I feel like the only reason that we would panic about it is because they've stigmatized it so much, that
Right.
they've made it such a bad thing. Like, what would happen if they were honest? What would be the real harm in us knowing the truth? Why can't the fact that we're not alone in the universe just be a fact of life?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of just regular things that we're like they try to like withhold from us for whatever
Hmm.
reason. And so maybe that's it. But I mean, it's like the other day when President Obama said like, "Oh, for sure there's aliens." And then he like backpedaled and was like, I just meant that like probably there's
There could
aliens."
be. Like,
And
nah,
then
nah, sir, you said there are.
yeah, well, and then somebody asked Donald Trump what he thought about President Obama saying that there were aliens.
Mm,
And he said, "Oh, he shouldn't have said that. He told classified information."
yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, well, then are you confirming the aliens are real?" And he was like, "Oh, I can't say for sure whether aliens are real. I don't know. I'm just saying he shouldn't have said that."
Yeah.
And so, like, I don't know. It's so silly.
But, like, if they know that aliens exist in this scenario, shouldn't we know whether or not they're peaceful or malicious or, shouldn't we just be, like, kind of prepared?
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just something that I think about and I don't know.
And I know we had this conversation the other day when we were talking about President Obama saying the aliens were real. And it's like I don't know. I think you're right about like the stigmatization of it because like him saying, "Oh, aliens are real." My thought was I don't want to know. I don't know if I want to know that they're real.
Mm-mm.
Like I don't know if like that's information that I feel comfortable knowing, even though I'm sure there probably are aliens.
Mm-mm.
Like for somebody to just confirm and be like,
Oh,
absolutely,
yeah, for sure
yes,
there
there
are
are for sure
aliens.
aliens. It feels really weird, like it's unsettling to me, but it's
Mm-hmm.
probably just because it's been one of those like, are there or aren't there our whole lives? I think it would be the same thing like if I knew for sure that ghosts were real,
Yeah.
or if I knew for sure whether Pat Garrett killed Billy the Kid.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if I want to know that information.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so with the end of that tangent, we'll just move on to our story, which is not unrelated to that situation.
Okay.
This is the Ariel School UFO incident.
Okay.
So it's September 16th, 1994.
Oh, well, that's a familiar date.
I know.
Uh-huh. Okay.
We are in Ruwa, Zimbabwe,
Oh,
a
okay.
rural agricultural area southeast of the capital of Harare. And if I'm pronouncing any of these words wrong, sue me, I guess.
I'm gonna sue you
I think so.
for everything you're worth.
However, we are at an expensive private Christian school called Ariel School, and that's Ariel like the mermaid.
Oh, okay. I was about to ask you if it was like
No,
Sky or
no.
okay,
It's Ariel like the mermaid.
like the name. Okay.
Yeah. All the people who were interviewed about their time there, this specific time there, um, had great things to say about it. It was out in nature. You could see a giraffe on your way to school.
That's all I want.
And the former students say that they felt very safe there, that Ariel School was their second family.
Okay.
So now imagine that you're between the ages of 6 and 12, and you are out for your morning recess and you see something. Maybe several somethings, maybe a UFO, maybe more than one UFO,
Yikes.
and maybe even some humanoid figures accompanying those UFOs.
Crazy. So not a giraffe.
No.
Okay.
I don't know if they saw a giraffe at all that day, but this specific sighting, oh great,
Was not a giraffe. What
was
did you
not a
do?
giraffe. It just doesn't want to scroll.
I use your pencil.
I don't want to use my pencil.
Mine does that, and I have to use my pencil. It will be like, oh, your finger doesn't work.
No.
Oh, your iPad just doesn't work.
My iPad works, it just won't scroll.
I guess you're gonna have to kill the app and go back to it.
Okay, so that's exactly what happened, however, on this September morning in 1994.
So probably not drones.
No, because this was in the days before drones were really a thing.
Yes.
I'm sure there were drones just because.
That the government wasn't telling us about.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So the children of Ariel School were out for morning break when they saw, behind the school, a large metal craft surrounded by several smaller crafts. The children were transfixed. Moments later, some even said in the blink of an eye, there were humanoid figures standing maybe a yard or two in front of them.
Like they just kind of beamed out.
Well, it was like they saw them get out of the craft and then like suddenly they were just like right there.
Ugh.
Except there's also not really contradicting information, but sort of like just different information as well.
Okay.
But so they were standing in front of them, staring at them through huge black eyes. The playground erupted in a panic of children running and screaming, others remaining behind, compelled to stay. But before we dive deeper into that, let's rewind 2 days to September 14th. That night, there were numerous reports of UFO sightings all across South Africa. Witnesses claimed to see a fireball streak across the sky, some blaming it on a comet or a shooting star. Other witnesses claimed to see several lights moving together in the night sky. Whatever the case may be, however, it began a wave of UFO mania in Zimbabwe.
Oh my goodness.
The first report came from an area near an airport in Johannesburg. Soon after, many reports came in. The ZBC Radio, or the Zimbabwe Broadcasting Company, put out a request for witnesses to call in and tell them what they saw.
Mm-hmm.
The craft was described as being the size of a jumbo Boeing 747. Others said it was too big to be a plane. Others said it didn't look like a plane at all, but rather a large object with smaller objects tailing behind it, almost like red sparks.
Okay.
There were several theories about what the object could have been. On the science side of things, it was suspected that the object was an asteroid burning up as it entered our atmosphere. Other people thought it could be a plane crashing or a plane on fire.
Well, yeah, if it was like sparks coming out of it, it seems like it would be something that was like in distress.
Mm-hmm. UFO skeptic Brian Denning explained it was simply a piece from a rocket, the Zenit 2 rocket from the Cosmos 2290 satellite launch, to be precise.
Sure, because that's exactly what I thought it was.
Well, I just mean, he wasn't just like, it was a piece of space junk, or it was a piece of a rocket. I have nothing to back this up with, but...
It just was very specific. This is what I thought was crazy.
Yes. So he said that it was just that burning up upon reentry. However, there had been a report that a mother and son had seen an alien during the daylight hours, and that a trucker had seen something strange as well.
I bet truckers see a lot of strange stuff.
Right. So all of this brings us back to where our story began. It's the morning of September 16th. The children of the Ariel School were out for their morning break, while the members of staff were inside the school at a meeting, when 60 plus of the 250 students witnessed something unexplainable. A large silver disc-like object that hovered above the trees and then landed among them, beyond the boundary of the school where the children were not allowed to wander due to safety reasons.
There might be a lion out there with that giraffe.
I think it was like snakes lakes and thorny bushes and stuff like that they're supposed to stay away from.
Yeah.
And so they weren't supposed to go any farther than like this specific area.
Yeah. They couldn't go into the Forbidden Forest.
No. So one student described seeing the shining silver object. She and her friends at first believed it was a house with windows reflecting in the sun. But they realized that that couldn't be correct because there are no houses in that particular area. She said the next thing they saw was a black figure running in slow motion towards them.
No. That's both things. The just appearing
Yeah.
is unsettling, but also it running in slow motion is unsettling.
Yeah.
I don't like either of those things.
No, either would be
Ugh,
a bit,
icky.
yeah. It scared her and she hid her eyes. Hid her eyes, not hit her eyes. She hid her eyes, averted her eyes, covered her eyes, closed her eyes, something of that nature.
She didn't want to see it, so she
Punched herself in the eye. And when she looked again, it was gone. Another student backed up the claims that there was a figure running towards them in slow motion.
Ugh.
Another girl said it was like a bright silver light that disappeared almost as quickly as it appeared. She thought she was imagining it, but other students were talking about the same thing that she was seeing. Multiple students claimed to have heard a sound like a flute playing, which terrified some of them. Many of the children were frightened, running and screaming back towards the school. Others, mostly older students, were mesmerized and intrigued and remained at the scene.
Or were you terrified whenever I would play my flute?
No. But I'm trying to decide if it's like, sort of like the Close Encounters of the Third Kind sound.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
Yeah, that's what
that
I
they
was
likened
thinking,
to a flute. Like some sort of little melody.
Yeah, something creepy.
Mm-hmm. While the children were adamant that they had not seen a plane, not all of them were convinced that what they saw were aliens. The story changed a bit depending on the children's backgrounds. Some were convinced that what they saw were, and I'm going to butcher this word, tokoloshes. So, or tokoloshes, or I don't know how it's pronounced. But,
What are they?
Well, I'm about to tell you.
Tell us.
They are dwarf-like or goblin-like water spirits that can become invisible and wreak havoc. At their least dangerous, they would scare children, but they were rumored to cause illness or to kill people as they slept.
Okay. I need to tell you that I don't want it to be that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want it to be aliens, but I don't want it to be that.
But these are like part of South African, Zimbabwean folklore.
Yeah.
And so some kids thought that's what they were seeing.
Scary.
The general consensus among the students, however, was that the beings were short, about the size of a 6th grader, one said.
So, like me.
Yeah. With grayish-greenish skin, large round heads that pointed at the chin, huge black almond eyes, small noses if any, and tiny mouths.
So, like, typical alien.
Typical, like, gray alien.
Mm-hmm. Were they wearing clothes? Because that one guy in Roswell would be very upset.
They sure were.
Okay. Good, because he does not like a naked alien.
Yeah. Well, multiple described them as having long hair, quote, like Michael Jackson.
Who? So like the one that's painted on the side of that one building?
Like the
sexy alien?
The sexy tortilla alien?
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay.
It's not the first time I've heard of traditional gray aliens having hair. In the Betty and Barney Hill case, they described them as having black hair.
That's true. They did, and it was unsettling then. I didn't like it then either.
No, I thought just the image of it is weird.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to draw it later.
And these children drew it as well.
Oh, okay.
There's
great.
lots and lots of drawings of it.
Okay.
So we'll be able to look at some of those later.
Okay.
Yeah, so they were described as wearing skin-tight black suits, much like wetsuits.
So they're Catwoman.
Yes.
Catwoman aliens.
Yes. So
with hair.
Yeah,
I hate it. I hate
know.
everything about it.
Long black hair. The children were interviewed by many people. Most of the reporters did not take them seriously. However, there were a few interviewers who found them credible, such as Cynthia Hines, Tim Leach, and John Mack, and we'll get to them later.
Okay.
But despite the level of belief from the interviewers, however, the children's stories remained consistent but unrehearsed. So it was like they all told the same story but to varying degrees, which they say is better.
Right.
Because if they all tell the exact same story, it sounds more rehearsed.
Right. It sounds like they got together and made some story up.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
And so they all pretty much told the same story, but there were varying
just,
details
like, depending on, like,
here and
their
there.
point of view or whatever. Sure.
The children still claim that on that morning a large silver craft appeared, surrounded by smaller ones, floating about and flashing colored lights, and seeing between 1 and 4 beings on or near the craft. They said the beings came close to them and spoke to them telepathically. While the messages varied slightly from child to child, the overall message was clear. We were destroying our planet through our behaviors and pollution.
They're not wrong.
Mm-hmm. A former student named Emma said, I think they want people to know that we are making harm on this world and that we mustn't get too technologed. And while I can sit here and think that her saying technology is cute and endearing, because she was like 11,
Right.
it also says to me that this was probably not an idea that she came up with on her own.
Right. And in 1994, because, like, in, like, today, we absolutely are like, "Oh, we have way too much technology. This is crazy. These kids don't know how to think for themselves, and they don't know how to be bored, and they don't know how to do
Right.
all these things for themselves, and Chat GPT is doing all the thinking and the doing and whatever." But, like, in 1994, we weren't really like, cell phones weren't even a common thing yet. Like, there was Zach Morris.
Yeah, with his big old cell phone, but
Right, and, like, I don't even think that, like, our moms, in the world had car phone, like, had the bag phones yet.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that would be like a weird thing for an 11-year-old in Africa to say at this point in time, I would think.
But yeah, so it sounds to me like she didn't come up with the idea on her own.
Yeah, I agree.
Because she couldn't even she didn't even know how to like put it into words.
Right, and it could even just be like, I'm not like African dialect, but like how the alien said it to her, like the word that he used.
Yeah. And so,
Sorry, I gendered the alien. I don't know.
I don't know. The alien.
That guy.
But she said that the message just came to her into her head, which other students agreed happened to them as well.
Weird.
One boy said that he was told something was going to happen in the future and that pollution mustn't be. One child said that he was told that the world would end because we are not taking care of the planet.
And see, this is also, I think, weird for like kids to say at this point in time, because yes, we all were kind of aware that like we needed to stop using hairspray or whatever because it was putting a hole in the ozone layer. But I don't think kids were just like playing outside and thinking, "Wow, we're really ruining the planet."
And that was even one of the things they talked about in the docuseries that I watched, because I watched the episode about it on a docuseries called Encounters on Netflix. And one of the former students, and it might have even been the girl who said technologed, was saying that that it wasn't really something they talked about at the time.
Right.
And they even asked her or all of the children or whatever if it's something that they thought about, that they had thought about before.
Yeah.
And they were just like, no, it just was there in my head.
Right. I think that like at this point in time, because I would have been like what, 11, 12, like I was very aware of like endangered species.
Yeah.
But like that was just kind of because I was that age and that was just something I was into.
Right.
but and just because commercials would come on the television and stuff. But I
Mm-hmm.
don't think like just a normal 11-year-old is thinking these things.
Right. So one theory exists that the children confused the incident, and I don't even know. Some of these are like far-fetched on the debunking side,
Yeah.
but one of the theories exists that the children confused the incident with touring puppet shows designed to promote awareness about AIDS.
Say that again?
That they confused the incident with
Uh,
touring puppet shows designed to promote awareness about AIDS.
so they may have watched a puppet show to increase awareness of AIDS,
And
but
somehow
somehow
they
they conflated
conflated
it
this
in.
into a UFO incident.
Yeah, that's a stretch, I
Hmm.
would say.
Another said that the children misidentified a dust devil.
So multiple UFOs with humanoid creatures that are talking to them telepathically. It was just it was just a dust
Yeah,
devil.
what I have written is that I find that particularly silly because I've seen lots of dust devils, and maybe the ones in South Africa are a little different than ours, but I've never once, not even as a child, thought for a second that one was several UFOs or aliens planting telepathic images in my head.
No, the only thing that I've ever considered a dust devil to be is maybe a tornado.
Right.
But never did I confuse that with a UFO
Or multiple UFOs,
or a
or,
person
yeah.
or person-like thing.
So, I don't know who's like reaching out on the limmiest limb to try to like debunk and disprove these children.
Like they're out on like one of the like it's real thin and they're about to fall out of the tree.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about
Or they're
these
like the little cat that's like
explanations.
hanging on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a lot.
Their stories and descriptions and drawings were all very similar, and they all stood by their stories. They told the faculty about their experience, and they were not taken seriously. They said the children possibly saw something, but probably not that. One member of staff, I don't think she was the headmistress at the time, but one person called her the headmistress,
Hmm.
and because I know there was a headmaster at the time,
Okay.
and so I don't know if there was a headmaster and a headmistress. But anyway, this lady, I think her name is
This chick.
Judy. Judy. I don't remember what her last name is. It'll come back up later. But she said that, well, they asked her what she thought about it, and she said that she lives at the school, so she tries not to think about it.
I don't really want to think about the fact that there might have been aliens hanging out here.
She said that she would have sleepless nights if she thought about it.
Yes.
They couldn't really tell their families or talk about it at home because their parents didn't want to hear it and they didn't want the stigma, and some of them just flat out didn't believe them.
Yeah.
So in that Netflix docuseries that I watched, former students recounted what they recalled from the incident. It's mostly what I already described, but these children are now full-grown adults, and to this day they are still convinced and shaken by what they saw back in 1994.
I was thinking a second ago when you were saying that like the staff of the school and their teachers and stuff didn't believe them. As a teacher, I honestly don't know what I would think if my students walked in and said, "So we
We just saw a
just saw
UFO.
a UFO." Like and it talked to us telepathically. I'd be like, "Stop doing drugs." I
And it had
don't
Michael Jackson hair.
and yeah, I don't know. Like there was the one time when there was the tornado and the
Mm-hmm.
little kid looked outside and went, "There's a hurricane out there." And I was like lost it. But I don't know what I would think if my students walked in and told me that they just saw aliens and UFOs.
Yeah.
That it I don't know. I don't know how I would react to that.
But here's the real kicker. One guy, a former student named Dallin, I think is how you pronounce his name,
Okay.
he claimed to have made the whole thing up.
Oh.
just to get out of his Shona lessons, and Shona is the native language in Zimbabwe.
Uh-huh.
He said that there had been a shiny rock in the distance that he pointed out to some younger children and told them it was a UFO and that there were aliens. The young children believed him, and then the rumor mill began.
Mm-hmm.
Word of the UFO spread through the students, and they all convinced themselves of what they supposedly saw. He said he doesn't know why aliens would come all this way to land at a school and do nothing, travel all this way just to talk to children. He didn't know why it worked or why everyone believed it, other than children like to play imaginary games and that children lie, but that there were definitely no aliens.
Okay. So the government got to him.
He said he said had there been aliens, he would not have just stood there and pointed. He would have gone closer to investigate, because how often in your life do aliens appear?
Yeah, but when you're 11, are you thinking that?
Yeah. In the episode of Encounters, one former student says that it was not a rock, that he knows what a rock looks like, that there have been times in his life when he questioned what else it could be, that he did not touch the craft, but one thing he knew for certain it was not was a rock.
Yeah. I mean, I could see, like, again, mass hysteria and amongst little kids where you can, like, somebody's like, oh, did you see the thing? And they're like, no, I didn't see the thing. And then, like, or like, oh, yeah, I did see the thing, and then it, like, snowballs.
Yeah. And so that's basically what he's claiming happened.
Mm.
Even though apparently, I don't know if I saw any interview footage of him as a child, but apparently when he was a kid, he claimed that he saw the UFOs.
Yeah.
But now he says that that never happened, that he just made it all up.
So the government definitely got to him.
Anyway, yeah, so I don't know what made him change his story, and like I said, he blames the entire thing on himself. Not in like a I'm sorry I did this sort of way, because he was even like, I'm sorry that I'm calling y'all out on your bullshit, but
yeah. But I made it up and
you guys ran with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I said before, with the exception of people like John Mack, the children were not taken seriously. There was already so much stigma around people who claimed to have alien encounters. The governments maintained aliens weren't real, witnesses were seen as crazy or delusional or attention seekers, which is still pretty much the same attitude witnesses face today.
Yep, I was about to say that.
Which brings me back to my original question of why, though? But the aftermath was not one of openness and acceptance and support. One former student said that in some ways the experience itself was less traumatic than the aftermath.
Yeah. With everybody just calling you like a liar or you made something up or yeah.
Some students lost friends throughout their lives for sticking to their stories. Others were made to feel crazy by authority figures for asking questions regarding the incident. In her interview with the team from Encounters, former student Emma, the one that said technology, said that not being believed about something so important that happened to her made her unable to open up later when other big things happened to her. That people have suggested she see a counselor, but that she refuses to because she fears that she won't be believed. And that she didn't even tell her husband about it until the documentary began.
Oh, man. Yeah.
He was just like, what is this documentary about? And she was like, well.
So what happened was...
She was like, I hid this from you forever because I thought you might leave me if you found out that I was some girl that...
I saw aliens.
Anyway, so yeah, so she had even hidden it from her husband. And I don't know, she didn't really ever say what became of telling her husband. She was just like, at first he was like, no, I can't be married to somebody who's seen aliens.
Oh, why?
Exactly. He was supposedly like a really strict Catholic.
So?
Exactly. But, yeah, so she said that he originally was like, oh, no, I can't do that.
That's weirder to me than her seeing aliens.
Right?
Like, what? How does that change anything? Like, she didn't say she loves the devil.
I know.
I don't get it.
John Mack said over several interviews that he doesn't understand why we treat people like this as crazy, why we're so quick to dismiss this as a fantasy, but in the same breath are so keen to believe that entities like God and angels exist.
Right. Because, I mean, they're also extraterrestrial.
Right.
So,
Like,
it doesn't make any sense.
no matter what side of the whatever that you're on,
Mm-hmm.
the debate or whatever that you're on, whether or not you believe that God and angels are real, they are, by definition, extraterrestrial.
Yeah, they are not of this earth.
So,
It doesn't make any sense.
yeah. He was accused of losing it and being out of touch and going too far. He was accused of malpractice for not diagnosing these people and medicating these people with and for psychosis.
Okay.
I mentioned it later in there, but okay. John Mack is, or was, he's dead now, but was a tenured Harvard professor of psychiatry.
Okay.
And he originally was a skeptic about alien things, but through his practices, he encountered lots of people who believed that they had seen aliens or had been abducted or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so he kind of started to go, maybe these people aren't crazy.
Yeah.
Not just because there were so many of them, but because of his considerable experience with how the human mind works. He was like, this is not how dreams work. This is not how fantasy works. This is how real experience works. These are the
Mm-hmm.
reactions of somebody who really experienced this.
Right.
Not somebody who made this up, not somebody who is psychotic.
Mm-hmm.
And so he got a lot of flack for supporting these people.
Yeah, and not just saying, oh, they're just making it up, or oh, they're just crazy.
Yeah. And so, like I said, he was accused of malpractice for not diagnosing them as being crazy.
That's crazy.
Because it was supposedly doing harm to these people by not prescribing them tranquilizers and not saying that they're psychotic.
Nobody will prescribe me tranquilizers either.
I know. Harvard put him through trials for over a year trying to take away his tenure, which was the first time in Harvard's 350 years or whatever that had ever happened.
That's crazy. That's so silly.
Okay, so the lady's name was Judy Bates. Because what I have next is, in the episode of Encounters, Judy Bates, who was the faculty member who I said earlier,
Judy.
said that she tries not to think about it. At this point in time for this specific school, it was just a bunch of like rich kids from agricultural families.
Mm.
And so it was like mixed race. It wasn't like all black or all white. It was just
Okay.
Zimbabwean children
Yeah.
from affluent families,
Okay.
from affluent agricultural families.
Sure.
So anyway, in the episode of Encounters, Judy said that she had her own experience that she had never told anyone about.
Mm.
She said it happened after the incident with the children, but before John Mack came to interview them.
Okay.
She was in her bed and she was abducted.
Yep.
They put her on a very narrow table and told her not to look up, which she of course did anyway.
Of course, you're going to look the direction somebody tells you not to look.
They inserted something into her belly button, possibly a microchip.
Ew.
Yes.
Don't touch people's belly buttons. Oh, that makes my tummy hurt just thinking about it. I don't even like to touch my own belly button.
I know. And then there was a flash and they were gone.
Oh, okay.
So.
And she was already stressed out about the aliens being there.
Yeah. The experience was no one else's business, so she kept it to herself.
So this was before the kids' encounter?
It was after the kids' encounter.
After the kids' encounter, but before the people came to interview them.
Yes. So John Mack came 2 months after the incident with the kids happened. So it was sometime in that 2-month period before John Mack got there.
Okay.
But she said that it was nobody else's business, and so she pretty much kept it to herself, which she regretted because it ended up making her be put on Prozac.
Well, not only that, but then like it allowed people to like dismiss what the children were saying because
Hmm.
they're children, so obviously they're just making things up.
Right. But she said that she was unhappy at the school and it made her feel like she should possibly not be around anymore.
Okay.
She says that the beings came back a second time and asked her if they wanted to go with her, if she wanted to go with them because she was so unhappy.
Well, that was nice of them.
She declined. They returned a third and final time, telling her it was her last chance.
Hey, we're here. Do you want to come?
You want to get out of here? And she once again declined, saying that it was better for the children if she stayed.
Mm-hmm.
And she chuckles to herself and says, "It was nice of them to ask."
It sure was. It was really nice of them to give her the option.
She was like, "Well, that was nice."
They saw that I was unhappy, and
So they were like, "Hey,
you want to come with
you
us?
wanna tag along?"
I saw a post the other day that was like, at this point, I'm just gonna dress up like a cow and go stand out in a field.
Abduct me, bro. So one man who had been a student at the time, whose name I didn't catch, unfortunately, I think it was mostly because I didn't think I could pronounce it.
Uh-huh.
Because it
So
was
not Judy.
no, it was a typical African name, and I was just like,
Uh-huh.
don't know how to say that.
Nope. Not even gonna try.
No. He said that in his second or third year of high school, he had gotten very religious. He remembers asking his youth pastor one day, he was like, "Okay, I get that Jesus came to earth and died for our sins, but where did he come from?
Mm-hmm.
Could it be possible that he was an alien because I've seen this and I've experienced this?"
Okay.
To which the pastor shrugged it off and said, "No, you didn't. You did not see this."
Oh, okay.
He also recalled that a particular white pastor told him, "Your experiences you had as a child don't matter.
Oh.
Who you are as an African is irrelevant." And so telling him that his personal experience and his individuality in this big world didn't matter led him on a journey to find answers.
Mm-hmm.
Emma says that she lost a lot of memories of her childhood, and in essence, her childhood itself, by trying to suppress the experience and not being able to reopen the wound and not being able to reopen that trauma. But apparently, not all of the parents dismissed the children. There were some who went to the school to find out more. They said that in the area where the craft landed, all the bugs and insects were dead,
Weird.
and that there was a big black scorch mark on the ground. I personally would love to see a picture of this evidence.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why no one took a picture.
Well, they weren't just carrying around cameras at this point in time either.
But they were going to investigate
That's true.
what their children said happened.
Yeah.
And so surely somebody had a camera.
Mm-hmm.
I did, however, see a photo of an oval-shaped indentation in the grass, like a big UFO-sized one.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't like a crop circle, but
It was just like a big, like something circle Lee had land there.
yeah,
There.
the grass was smushed like in a crop circle,
Mm-hmm.
like it wasn't broken, it was just kind of smushed.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it was just like this big oval indentation in the grass. And then I couldn't see them very well in the photo, but there were also like triangle shaped or wedge shaped indentations in the ground where supposedly like the legs or whatever of the UFO touched the ground when it landed.
Yeah, like when you move your couch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so I did see pictures of that stuff.
Weird. That would be weird.
Yeah. Several children noted that the day before the incident, they saw a UFO in the sky near the school. So, even the day before.
Oh, well, and people were seeing things
This was
in the days before,
yeah,
right?
there were like 2 days before people reported seeing UFOs, and then the day before, the children said they saw UFOs.
Okay.
Just in the sky.
Mm.
All of this information came out when Tim Leach, a BBC correspondent in South Africa, came to interview the children. He would ask them things about the craft like, "But wasn't it a helicopter?"
Oh, didn't you saw a helicopter, right? That's what it was.
He's not trying to disprove them. He's trying to mostly just like see if their stories change.
Right, like,
He's not like there to be like, oh, all you guys saw was a helicopter, but
like,
he's just like trying to catch them and be like, oh, but wasn't it a helicopter? See if he could like influence their story.
like maybe if he made another suggestion, they'd be like, oh yeah, that's what it was.
And they were just like, nah, this was a UFO. They would say that it was silver and oval shaped and spinning around near the trees. So Tim Leach invited Cynthia Hind, who was a UFO enthusiast and a member of MUFON, the Mutual UFO Network.
Yes, I'm familiar.
Just in case other people aren't.
I know.
He invited her to come with him to interview the children. She had all 60 of them draw what they had seen. She took the 22 clearest drawings and photocopied them for her own files. As I've mentioned previously before, the drawings were all very similar to one another, as well were their stories. The children opened up to Cynthia about what they had seen both days. One girl said that she and a friend were sitting outside on the 15th and saw something in the sky. The friend told her, "Look, there's a UFO." And then she was like, "I'm just kidding, it's an airplane."
Yeah.
And the original girl was like, "I don't know, maybe it is a UFO because it's really shiny and it's not really shaped like an airplane."
Right. Well, and like airplanes fly a certain way, and
But this was one of those instances where they said it was cigar shaped.
oh, okay.
So she said that it was like long with a shiny tip on it, like a really shiny tip on it, whether it be a light or whatever that was making the tip like shinier than the rest of it.
Right.
But she was like, "I don't know, maybe it is a UFO."
Well, I mean, you and I have had these conversations too, being in the car, where we'll be like, oh, just kidding, it's like an airplane, and then it's like, yeah, but it's not really flying like an
Yeah.
airplane, or like maybe it is a UFO. It's like doesn't seem like it's moving, or I don't know.
I know. Like it'll seem like it's just sitting there, or
Or like the thing that we saw that one night that was like way too close to the ground, but was way too big to be that close to the ground.
Yeah. And then it was just gone.
Yeah. And I don't know. Granted, I'm stupid about things, but I don't know that they make drones that big that I would have,
Right.
I don't, because it was really, really big. And then it was moving really, really fast.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know.
Cynthia's methods have been criticized, though, over the years because she interviewed the children in groups and allowed other children to watch, which may have contaminated the other children's recollections. Yeah. So like I said, this is where I was originally going to tell y'all who John Mack was, but I figured he was coming up too much, so I introduced him earlier. But he was a tenured Harvard professor of psychiatry. He was a Pulitzer Prize winner, an author, an environmentalist.
A jack of all trades.
Yes. He single-handedly created the outpatient mental health thingy for Cambridge Hospital.
Okay.
So he was a really well-respected person until he started getting into UFOs.
Yeah, and then automatically you're just crazy if that happens.
But he, like I said, he was originally a UFO skeptic until he started hearing so many encounters. I think he said that he had had 90 incidents of people who claimed to have some sort of encounters with UFOs. And so he had written books about UFO encounters and stuff like that. And
90 is a lot.
Yeah. And he was just like, these people are not psychotic. These people are not mentally ill. These people are traumatized by what they've seen.
Right.
But they're not just crazy. These are not just rantings of a crazy person.
Right. They don't seem like they're making it up. They don't. Yeah.
But he came to Zimbabwe to interview the students after finding out about them. He was already planning on going to South Africa to interview people about UFOs, but then I think Tim Leach told him about the
The
Ariel
story.
School incident, and so he was like, "Oh, forget it, I'm going to Zimbabwe first."
Yeah.
Um, Emma said that previously they had been disbelieved by so many people, but that she never felt like she had to convince John Mack that she was telling the truth.
Yeah.
She also said that she knew that Mack took a lot of flack for believing them. Harvard was not happy about all the media attention John was getting because Harvard's name was being connected to all of this supposed nonsense,
Right.
and they wanted no part of it. Like,
Well, they're a fine, upstanding institution.
yeah. Like I said before, he was accused of committing malpractice by not diagnosing these people as psychotic and not prescribing them tranquilizers.
I love that, like, that's the thing. Like, you didn't prescribe them tranquilizers. What
Yes.
are you thinking?
Yeah. And Harvard spent something like 14 months putting him on trial and trying to remove his tenure. But when word of this got out, people were outraged and they eventually just shut the whole inquest down.
Mm.
In the end, many witnesses felt that John saved them by seeing them and believing them.
Right, because everybody else was telling them that they were making things up and seeing things, and
Yeah.
yeah.
And to this day, there is still no definitive answer to what happened on that day in Ruwa, Zimbabwe.
Oh, well, that was a good story.
Yeah. Like I said, I didn't fall asleep because it was boring. I was just really sleepy.
I know, I can't stop yawning.
I turned on that episode of that docuseries like 3 or 4 times and fell asleep through it every single time. And so tonight when I rewatched it, or this afternoon when I rewatched it, I was just like, how long is this thing that I keep falling asleep through? It was like 40 minutes long.
Yeah.
And I couldn't make it through it.
Yeah, it's like me with Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever made it through like the first 30 minutes of that movie.
Yeah.
It's oh, she found the tree.
Yeah.
Okay, sweetie girl. Um, yeah. Well, speaking of naming documentaries, last week I forgot to say the name of the documentary that I had watched
Killer
over
Sally.
the Sally McNeil story, and it's
Yes.
called Killer Sally, and it's on Netflix.
Yes.
So,
So you can watch that. You can watch the episode of Encounters. It's episode number 2. It's called Believers.
ooh, Believers.
Yes. Believers. Believers.
So it's about people who love Justin Bieber.
Yes.
Great.
Like the child's social studies teacher.
Oh, does she love Justin Bieber? Had no idea.
Yeah.
I didn't know that about her.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's a very open and proud
Believer. Okay. That's fine. No judgment.
Nope.
This is a no judgment zone.
Nope. I had to go to her classroom the other day because one, the teacher I was subbing for teaches his 6th period class out of there.
Oh, uh-huh.
He doesn't have his own classroom, and she had me sub the end of her 5th period class because she had to go to the dentist.
Oh, uh-huh.
And so I saw that she had like posters and stuff like that. And
isn't that when Bratface is in there?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Thought so.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
And I'm still creeped out about aliens with hair.
Aliens with hair and people touching your belly button.
Yeah, gross.
And running in slow motion.
Uh-huh. And also just appearing.
Yeah.
There's so many things I did not like.
No.
there's a lot. There's a lot of things that I would really hope. I hope that never happens to me.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Well, what else do you have to tell us?
That these cats are driving me bonkers.
Well, that's just an everyday thing.
Yeah, but they're like on one tonight. They're not usually this annoying during the podcast.
Being crazy.
As you can hear. No, I don't really think I have anything else to tell you guys tonight. Just that.
Well, I I'm sorry that Faren didn't post the picture of her hand last week that she said that she wanted you to tell her what it looked like.
I'll post it tonight.
Sure you will.
I just keep forgetting.
And social media.
Yeah.
Yep.
We have some.
We sure do. We're at Twisted and Mysterious, or you can email us at twistedandmysteriousPodcast@gmail.com. I thought about emailing the person who has twistedandmysterious@gmail.com and just being like, hey, are you getting emails for me?
Yeah.
Could you just forward those over?
Could you just send our podcast emails over here? Because we know that's why we're not getting any.
That's the reason they're going to you.
Everybody is sending them to the wrong email address.
So don't forget, it's twistedandmysteriousPodcast@gmail.com.
Because somebody already had Twisted and Mysterious. If you want to send us some...
Faren's room is currently being destroyed by crazy people. And by people, I mean cats.
If you want to send us some messages and stuff, we would like to send you guys free stickers.
We would love to send you stickers, but you have to send us a message on social media. You have to slide into our DMs.
Yes. So if you want to do that, you can get free Twisted and Mysterious stickers.
Yep.
And we want to send them to you. So
we would love to. I'll even go to the post office.
Yeah. Just go there all by ourselves and do the thing.
Like big girls.
Yep.
All right.
Well, we're going to get off just so we don't have to deal with the cats anymore.
That's right.
So, as always...
And I'm hungry.
Well, that too. There's some salad waiting on me, and I really want to go eat it. Oh, my God. Anyway, as always, remember that people are gross, and so are aliens. At least when they have hair and stick things in your belly button. So remember that people are gross and don't get murdered or abducted.
Some aliens are gross too. Bye.
Bye.